Hi everyone, this is just a short video. I intend to make more of these short ones as I'm doing my long videos, so some parts of the things I do are too detailed to go into the long videos, and I do a lot of work behind the scenes that I think if I share it in short videos I can always add to my long videos or just share them as short videos only and not waste that precious process, but share it with you so you can learn from it. So here we are with the first of those short videos. This one, as you can see by the title, is the pen tool versus the Bezier tool in Corel Draw. So I'm actually showing this in the standalone version of Corel Draw. So it's for people who have Designer Plus versions. They get that standalone version of the Corel Draw to work with as well. Thank you and enjoy. I just wanted to show you using the pen tool as opposed to the Bezier tool to create lines and how much easier it is with the pen tool. So I'm going to first of all use the Bezier tool so that you can see how tricky it is. I have shown this in previous videos, but I think this will highlight it very well. So I'll select the Bezier tool. Now I want to make this curve here. So I'm going to left click here and drag, and you want to drag in the direction that you're going. And then when you start to see a change in the curve, make another left click and drag. Now what happens with the Bezier tool is it affects the previous part of the line. So if I go too far down here now, it's going to push out the other end. That's just the nature of the clicks that you're making, the type of node it is. So I don't want to go too far because I want to still continue on this line, and I'm getting a kink beforehand. So I'll just exaggerate that a bit for now and make another click here, and then I want to curve again. So I'm looking behind where I'm moving, so I'm looking on this side to see what's happening to the line behind, and I'm having to click and drag, and I'm not getting a very smooth curve because I'm having to make so many nodes. Let's just finish there. So my last click will finish the line, and I'll zoom in, and you can see you get all these wiggly lines. So then you have to go to your reshape tool, you have to select the node, you then can adjust the node handles to try and smooth that curve out. You might have to change the node. For instance, this is a smooth symmetrical node, but perhaps I want a smooth, just a smooth node so that I can adjust the length of the arrows independently of each other. Oh, that's the original arrow from there. So let's get that one coming down here. That will drag that line around there. I've now got a smooth line from there to there. I can now come to here. I can see this arrow is far too long, so I'll select this node. I will make that a smooth node as well. And I might want to move it. So you can see that it's quite tricky, and then bring this one right down because it's crossing over and it's causing problems. If I swing this one, because it's a smooth node, it's going to swing the other one. So I've got to be aware of the whole curve. Now you can use cusp nodes, which means that you can adjust the angle and the length of each arrow independently. So, well, that belongs to that one, so we'll go back there. Click this one again, and so I can bring this one down here. If I'd put less nodes in, maybe I'll delete that node. I would have been able to manage that better. Now I can take this one out and change its angle, but I've got a little tiny kink here. It just comes up a little bit here and then down a little bit. You can tell because the arrows come both this way, so it is rising up here at this point. So as you can see, that is quite tricky. So I'm going to select that and delete it. So I'll undo. Which will, oh no, I'll just delete it because if I undo, I have to undo each of those moves. Okay, now I'm going to use the pen tool, and so I'm going to come here and choose the pen tool. And with the pen tool, it behaves totally differently. So the pen tool, you can find a spot where you want to start. I want to start right on that node so that I'm joining up there. And best not to start at the end of another line, because it will join onto that line and take on the whatever was happening with that line before. So I'm going to escape out of that. And I'm going to start down here so that I'm not being affected by anything else. And I'll just get a node, and then I can come up to here and find that spot again and left click again. I've now got a straight line, and I can continue on if I want to, but I don't, so I'm going to enter so that I finish that line. Now I can go to my reshape tool, and at the moment, if I do anything, both those nodes will move together because it's a line, it's not a curve. So what I have to do first of all is select both the nodes, make them blue, so you can box select like I just did, or you can click on the first one, hold your control key down and click on the other one. That will select both of them then. And then you can go to your convert to curve icon up here at the top and left click on that. Now when you hover over that line, your cursor will get a wiggly line, which means you can now curve that line. So I can left click and drag that line, and when I get it where I want it, I can release it. I've now got a beautiful curve in 3 easy steps. If you don't get it quite right, you can still come onto these nodes and adjust these arrows. So I could adjust this arrow if I needed to bring this half of the curve down further. I don't want to touch it at this point in time, but or I could select this node here, and then I'd be able to adjust this arrow here. So it's so much easier. Now I'll just do that again with a line that has a part of it that's straight and then it curves, so this line here. So I will click off so nothing's selected, get my pen tool, and I'm going to start here, and this part of the line is straight, so I'm going to left click here to create a node. That part of the line will remain straight. Now I want to come up to this section here and left click when I am on the edge of that line, yes, and enter so that I complete my line. Now I need to go to the reshape tool. This time the only two nodes I want to curve between here and here, so I don't want to select this node here. I just want to select those two nodes. They're both blue. I can convert them to curve, and then I can take that line there, and all those other words you're seeing there pop up because I've got guideline grids and I've got snap to guidelines on. So every time I hover over a guideline, it will come up with a word that I'm on the edge of the guideline. So you can drop your, if that's the right place for your node, then you can leave it there, but you can move off there if you don't want it to snap, or you can turn that snapping off. I quite like that spot anyway, so I'm just going to leave it there. Now if I go to the select tool, it is a nice smooth line. It might be a bit jagged here, so I might just go back to reshape, select this node here, and just bring this arrow down a little bit closer to the line, and bring it out a bit, just so that that line is straighter and less acute when it comes out of the straight line into the curve. So that's how you can draw your lines or trace off lines of an image more easily with the pen tool than the Bezier curve.